that make keratin, and those are skin cells. If you got a skin issue, you got a skin cell issue. You got a skin issue, you got a skin cell issue. All disease is cell disease, and for the most part, skin cell disease is keratin disease, either an overexpression of this hard protein keratin or an underexpression or the wrong kind of keratin or some combination thereof. If you get little bumps, little hard bumps that form on the skin, those are called milia. Doctors or dermatologists sometimes call them keratoses, which obviously is a keratin problem, keratoses. Or if you get pimples or if you get psoriasis, you're pretty much dealing with an overexpression of keratin, perhaps in combination with defective keratin production. Remember, all of this is coming from starvation, suffocation, and toxification. Why is this important? Well, it's important because we're in control of that, folks. Not your doctor, not your dermatologist. No drugs can help you here, but we can help ourselves at the level of starvation of a cell, suffocation of a cell, and toxification of a cell. That means if you got those little hard bumps, the milia, or if you got pimples, you're dealing with acne, you're dealing with psoriasis, we're in charge. You're in charge. Our decisions, our lifestyle choices are where these things come from. Basically, from not being on a good nutritional supplement program, not eating the right kinds of food, digestive problems. All of these play the significant role when it comes to keratin problems and skin diseases. In the case of eczema, maybe not enough keratin, or perhaps, again, the wrong kind of keratin. The bottom line, however, whether you're dealing with eczema, whether you're dealing with keratoses or milia or acne or psoriasis, you're dealing with a defect in keratin production, some kind of malfunction in the way skin cells, keratinocytes, the way keratin-making cells are going about their business. Now remember, all disease is cell disease. When it comes to health, it's all about the cell, the function of a cell. All disease is cell disease means all disease is cell function disease. And the function of a cell depends on its structure, depends on its shape. Biologists refer to this relationship as structure-function. Structure-function means that the function depends on the structure. The function of a cell depends on the shape of a cell. Conversely, malfunction of a cell is a breakdown in the shape of a cell. Some kind of defect in the structure of a cell. So if a cell's not doing its business, if it's not making protein correctly, that's its business, to make things. If the cell isn't making stuff correctly, you can rest assured that it's misshapen. It's got the wrong kind of structure, the wrong kind of shape. When the shape or the structure of a cell is off, it follows then that the misshapen cell will then malfunction. All disease is cell disease means misshapen cells are the cause of diseases via this malfunctioning. This is where starvation, suffocation, and toxification play their role. They change the shape of a cell, which in turn causes the cell to malfunction. Can you picture this? The cell is sitting in an environment. It's basically swimming in nutrients and in oxygen and in, hopefully not in poisons, in a clean environment. But when poisons start to accumulate, or the cell is starved, or the cell is lacking oxygen, it starts to change shape. This is where disease begins. And where in the cell does it begin? Where does this change in shape start to take place? Well, quite obviously, it takes place, the first place that cell shapes start to go awry, where the cell becomes misshapen, is at the boundary of a cell, the outer portion of a cell. The cell, what we call the cell membrane. This is the place where the cell meets the toxic, starved, suffocated environment, the outer portion of a cell, the cell membrane. All disease is cell disease. All skin disease is skin cell disease. And all skin cell disease is first and foremost skin cell membrane disease. This is so important. That means that if we got something wrong with our skin, if we're breaking out in zits, if we have milia, keratoses, if we got psoriasis, we have a skin cell membrane problem. The coating of a cell is misshapen. The membrane of a cell is the single most important structure in all of biology. The membrane of a cell is the single most important structure in all of health. That's a huge statement, folks. if you want to do one thing, just one thing for your health and longevity, if you want to do one thing to improve your acne skin, it's not Proactive. Let me tell you, Proactive is not going to do a thing for your cells. A thing. Those commercials about Proactive with the Katy Perry and movie stars and anonymous teenagers who are all smiley and happy because they use their Proactive are lies. They're dishonest. They're rip-offs. They're stealing. They're nefarious and twisted and evil, and the people writing those stupid commercials have nothing to do with health. They're marketers and advertisers. They got PhDs in figuring out how to manipulate you and take your money. That's what Proactive is about. It's not about your health. That's because if you got acne or any other skin disease, you got a skin cell disease, a skin cell membrane disease, and that's a big, big statement. You know, if you've listened to this program for any length of time, you know that our main focal point for keeping our cells healthy and slowing down the aging process and keeping our skin beautiful is the health of a cell. Now you know it's the health of a cell membrane. Without addressing the cell membrane, we can't really address the health of a cell. All disease is cell disease, and the cell membrane is the key to cell disease and ultimately the key to cell health and the key to all health. And, folks, the membrane is no mere covering. I've been calling it a candy coating, like an M&M. The candy coating on an M&M, if a cell is an M&M, the membrane would be the candy coating. But that's really doesn't tell you what it is. The membrane, folks, check this out. The membrane of a cell is the brain of a cell, not the nucleus. People think it's the nucleus of a cell, but you know what? If you take the nucleus out of a cell, the cell will just live fine for months. You can't live without a brain. Nothing can live without a brain, but a cell can live without a nucleus. That tells you right there the nucleus isn't the brain. What is the only part of a cell that cannot be removed? What is the part of a cell that if you remove will cause the death of a cell, the same way that if you remove the brain out of your head will cause your death? What is the only part of a cell that accounts for the life force, the livingness of a cell? It's the coating, it's the covering, it's the membrane. You remove the membrane of a cell, you don't have a cell. That's because the membrane, in addition to providing the boundary, the structure of a cell, is the brain of a cell. It's the intelligence of a cell. It's the part that processes the information that comes from the outside. It processes the starvation or the nutriation. It processes the oxygenation or the suffocation. And it processes the cleanliness or the toxification, the key to health, whether we're talking heart disease, autoimmune disease, or skin disease, is the membrane of a cell. If you want to do one thing to maintain your health, if you want to do one thing to reverse your skin diseases, focus on that cell membrane. I'm going to tell you how to do that when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Brightside. We'll be back right after this.
Self-reliance, survival supplies, survival skills, national experts. Get it all at the only free-to-attend national event exclusively for preppers. This spring in Tulsa, it's the National Preppers and Survivalist Expo, a must-be-there event presented by American Living. This massive expo will include special guests, David Mays from Nat Geo's Doomsday Preppers, plus GCN's own Dr. Joel Wallach via live video conference. Hear Dr. Bones, Nurse Amy, and members of the American Prepper Network, along with many other leading national experts. Learn life-saving tips, CPR, how to handle crisis situations, walk through a bomb shelter, and much, much more. 2 big days, April 5th and 6th at the Tulsa Expo Square in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's April 5th and 6th. Doors open at 9 a.m. with absolutely free admission. Don't miss the National Preppers and Survivalists Expo, America's largest emergency preparedness event. Get your free tickets now. NPSExpo.com. That's NPSExpo.com.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right. General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for under $30,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet under $30,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100 foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Take delivery in spring. 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
We travel so much, and having a fake TV, well, it gives added peace of mind.
Burglars look for houses that appear to be easy targets. But fake TV can fool even professional burglars into thinking someone is home watching television.
As a recent widow living alone, it gives me great peace of mind to set my fake TV near a window and know that passing motorists and pedestrians will think someone is home watching TV when I'm actually away from home.
Fake TV easily plugs into any outlet, just like a light on a timer.
And they're so easy to use. You just plug them in and they're ready to go. Plus, they're so affordable that we have one upstairs and downstairs.
Fake TV is only $29.95 with free shipping. Order your fake TV by calling 877-5FAKE-TV or go to faketv.com. That's 877-532-5388 or faketv.com. Fake TV, the burglar deterrent.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Great news, pure water lovers. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has a special discount offer for all GCN listeners. You can't do better than a Big Berkey for economy. For only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. There's none better than a Big Berkey for emergency preparedness as a backup water source. And you just can't beat a Big Berkey to remove dangerous chlorine, all types of fluoride, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, parasites, and unhealthy byproducts from municipal water. Berkey water filter systems are even powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. For the gold standard in water filters, get a Big Berkey at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And all GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems. For details, call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
We are the premier independent talk radio network, the Genesis Communications Network, GCN.
All right, we're back on the bright side. Tomorrow we'll talk about the cell membrane, this brain part of the cell. If you're interested in learning about that, or if you want to get an interesting take on it anyway, read The Biology of Belief, Bruce Lipton's first book. Bruce Lipton is for you guys who don't know, Bruce Lipton is a molecular biologist, and he's the first guy, at least the first guy I heard talk about the idea of the cell membrane, the outer portion of a cell, as being an information processor. Very akin to a computer chip. It stores information. It processes information. If you're like electrical kinds of things, this cell membrane is a liquid crystal semiconductor. What that basically means is it holds on to energy and processes information much like a computer chip does. And this is why when you have defects in that cell membrane, you can have defects in the cell. It changes the function of the cell, and this is where disease begins. When we say all disease is cell disease, what I really mean is all disease is cell membrane disease. That means understanding the function of this membrane and the structure of this membrane is really, really important. And I'll give you a clue to what we're going to talk about tomorrow, and that's the idea of fats and cholesterol. This is where one of the places where cholesterol plays its really significant role in health is in the stability and the integrity of a cell membrane, which is some 60% cholesterol. Tell that to the next boneheaded medical professional who tells you got to worry about your cholesterol and how much cholesterol you're making, and you got to take a drug that suppresses cholesterol production. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. And if you're dealing with acne or you're dealing with psoriasis or eczema or milia, those little hard bumps that form on the skin, or keratoses, you're dealing with